improved. And it's also going to assess your local competitors. So it's actually going to automatically assess the competitors in your nearby region, and it's going to give you a score compared to them. This is all free of charge. So stick with me throughout the webinar. I'm going to give you access to this tool at the end of the webinar. Plus, I'm also going to give you a promo item. It's worth staying with me, I assure you. And hopefully, besides all of that, I'm going to give you some valuable insight this evening into marketing. So quite frankly, this comes down to a simple understanding that patients can't book what they can't find. If you are not on the internet, then the patients can't find you and they can't book you. The old adage that build it and they will come, well, that existed 50 years ago when mortar and bricks was the only option and you were only the only doctor in the town. Now you're one of 10 in a street. myMed Marketing has developed a bespoke framework that we use now in all of our marketing strategies, and that is get found, be trusted, and get booked. And that's the tenet of all of our marketing strategies. And when you consider that South Africa is now a digital first market, we have 50.8 million South Africans that are connected to the internet. And on average, that's 124 million mobile first connections. On average, again, that is 2 connections per person. So you can do the opportunity cost if you aren't available on the internet. If you don't have a digital presence, 51 million people aren't able to find you. So the opportunity cost of just having a digital presence, and when I refer to a digital presence, I'm talking about having a simple website, being listed on Google, having a LinkedIn page. All of these things don't need to cost you a lot of money. The amount that you spend on medical marketing can be as little as 500 Rand a month, can be as much as 50,000 Rand a month, depending on how competitive you want to be and what your marketing strategy and what your business objectives are. The median age here in terms of connectedness on the internet for these stats is 28.7. But don't be fooled if you are providing geriatric services and that's your target market. Just because someone is in their 80s doesn't mean that their children and grandchildren aren't the ones that are actually doing the research as to who the healthcare provider should be that they're referring their parents and grandparents to go and see. And they're the Gen Z and the millennials that are actually connected to the internet. But in saying that, my dad is 85 years old, and quite frankly, he is connected to the internet. He knows how to use social media. He knows how to use AI, and he's using it before he goes and meets a healthcare provider. He does the research and he searches for the best healthcare provider. So don't underestimate based on age. When we look at the patient journey, it comes down to 3 very basic questions. Can your patients find you? How do you compare? So what trust and credibility have you built into your brand? And then can they act on that? So once they've made that decision to book with you, have you got the mechanisms, the business processes, and those systems in place to allow them to actually act on that? Do you have things like online booking or a patient registration form on your website? Does your receptionist actually answer the phone? And even worse than that, do your telephones work? I know for a fact that a lot of the hospitals, with all due respect to them, but the reality is that I know for a fact that a lot of the telephone lines in the hospitals don't work as they promise or as they should. And so the reality is that when the patient wants to book with you, they can't get through to you. But then what redundancies have you got in place to back that up? So have you got a WhatsApp channel? Have you got a booking form on your website? You need to have these marketing assets in place to allow them to actually book with you. So let's explore these 3 questions in more depth. How do you get found? This is the foundation of your brand and your marketing strategy. This is, if we break it down, your brand identity is the foundation of any marketing, and it's the foundation of everything that we do in marketing. Your foundation, excuse me, your brand identity is built up of your logo, your colors, your typography that we use, the look and feel of your practice inside, the way that your receptionist answers the phone, how your email signatures look, the tone that they use in within the practice, the way that they dress. If I had to compare it to a human being, it's the way that you look and dress, the fashion that you enjoy, the colors that you like, the vocab that you use when you speak, and that is essentially your brand identity. And that's the foundation of your marketing. If that's not in place, everything else is going to collapse. Built on top of that is your digital identity or your digital presence. I spoke about that earlier. Then we have two elements. So we have organic marketing and we have paid marketing. And then from the ground up, we have essentials, and we're going to build right up to what makes these things advantageous. On the left-hand side, we have the organic marketing. Organic marketing are things that don't cost you money once they're set up. So your website, you create the website and you can leave it there, and it runs itself and it generates some return. You have essentials that we build into a website on the left-hand side, and that website will operate on its own. On the second layer of the pyramid, you have what we call at myMed a visibility matrix, and I'll take you into that in the next slides. Built on top of that, now we're getting to the nice to haves, the advantageous stuff, which is your social media. So at least have a social media presence, because your patients and your peers and your colleagues are going to go onto social media platforms such as LinkedIn. They're going to check out your credentials. They're going to check out your history, where you were educated. They want to look up that social proof. They want to ensure that they're referring patients to, they want to ensure who they're referring their mom and dad to is actually the person that has that trust and credibility built into them as a personal brand and their practice as a brand. On top of that, you have that social proof. That social proof comes from the things like Google reviews and Google ratings and testimonials. Social proof is at the top of the pyramid because it's the gold standard for any marketing, for any organic marketing. It's the cheapest, it's the easiest form of marketing that you can have over and above a website. But it's the one thing that South African healthcare providers don't do. And so I'm telling you now, if you want to listen to one thing I tell you this evening, take advantage of that, because it'll give you the competitive edge on everything I'm going to mention this evening. Chase after social proofs, chase after those Google reviews, because it means everything in terms of the search engine algorithms, in terms of the GEO, which I'm going to explain to you a little bit later down the line. And it means everything in terms of the healthcare consumer that is looking for that social proof. It's easy. Put up a QR code in your reception. Incentivize your receptionist to ask for those Google reviews. There's so many other mechanisms that we can use. We include it on your website. I'm not going to go into it now, but you should be chasing after that. Then on the right-hand side, we've got your paid, excuse me. We've got your paid marketing. And this is where we start adding more functionality into your website. We'll build more MarTech, marketing technology, into your website. We'll build AI agents and AI tools. AI is not a scary word. We'll build in an AI agent that can answer basic questions and answer those frequently asked questions and engage with your patient without compromising compliance, regulations, HPCSA, without providing diagnostic and consultations. It's not going to cross those lines. We build in guardrails. There's a big difference between a diagnostic AI agent and what we put on your website. It's about building, digitizing business processes into your website, online booking forms, digital patient registration forms, integrating with Google so we can collect analytics and a whole bunch of other stuff that we do. Again, the visibility matrix. On the third level, then we've got typical paid advertising, things like Google ads, social media ads. And then at the top of that, we've got reputation management, which aligns with the social proof on the organic side. It's where a marketing agency or someone within your practice actively manages your reputation by responding to those Google reviews. And I mean, I'm simplifying it to Google, but you have reviews on multiple different platforms. Hello, Peter, Google, there's some medical directories, whatever the platform might be, Trustpilot, all of these different things. But you actually, Facebook, people need to be responding to those if you really want to get the true value. So when I talk about the visibility matrix, it's a layered approach to your searchable presence. It's the several layers that are going to contribute to appearing with more visibility on the different platforms where people search for you, whether that's Google Maps, a search engine such as Bing or Google, or the AI agents such as Grok and ChatGPT and Gemini. So the layers of the visibility matrix are made up at the bottom, the foundation being the public directory listings, things like your medical directories, which usually offer you free listings. You should be listed on there. The more you list on these things, the better your digital presence. And just remember, the better your digital presence, the better your GEO. So just keep that in mind. I'll explain it to you shortly. Then built on top of that, you've got your technical SEO. Your technical SEO is the speed with which your website loads. It's the website structure and how it's built. So is your website built for mobile optimization? Is it built so that Google can actually index it, so that Google can actually find it? If your website loads too slowly, number one, people are going to leave it if it doesn't load within the first 3 seconds. And Google is going to penalize you if it doesn't load quickly enough. So the website structure contributes to the technical SEO. SEO being an acronym for search engine optimization. The next layer up in the visibility matrix is location SEO. Now, this is really important for healthcare providers because I'm sure that all of you at some point have gone into Google Maps or Google and asked for spa nearby or salon nearby or shop nearby or GP near me or physio nearby, whatever it might be, keyword near me or keyword nearby. And it's brought up the top 3 to top 5 results. In terms of a healthcare provider, you want to be appearing within those top results because if you're not, the opportunity cost is significant. In order for that to take place, you need to ensure that your address details, your contact details are all appearing on those public listings, the directories, your website, on the Google My Business listing, so that everything is consistent and it's actually available for Google to find you. I'm narrowing this down to Google just as the quickest and easily referenceable search engine. Because when we take it one step up, I'm going to stop referring to Google now because SEO is actually becoming obsolete. We've now migrated or evolved onto something called GEO. So GEO is generative engine optimization. And this is now where AI is taking over from search engines, where we're seeing scriptive and curated answers by the AI agents such as Grok, Gemini, ChatGPT, etc., Claude, where people are actually going on to these AI agents and they're asking comprehensive, complex questions about the healthcare provider. And AI agents are building up, they're not just looking for keywords and generating a short list of available providers or available results, but it actually does research. It considers various keywords, which I'll show you in an example in a moment. And based on that, it then gives you a recommendation. So that's the difference. It's not just giving you a search result, but it's actually recommending to the person who they believe is the best option. So here's a real world result. I went on to Gemini, and this is a screenshot from the question that I asked. I asked, I'm looking for I'm looking for the best neurologist that specializes in epilepsy in Sandton. And this was the result that Gemini gave me. I just want to qualify this in saying that none of these doctors are clients of myMed Marketing. So they're just benefiting from the fact that that their marketing was in place and that they had a strong GEO because of the fact that their websites had these keywords, they had these descriptions, and their digital presence was comprehensive enough that Gemini recognized them as the healthcare providers to recommend for epilepsy within Sandton. And that's because of the following. When AI agents such as Gemini look at that question, they're going to break it up into these factors. So it's going to look at that clinical need, which was epilepsy. It's going to consider the specialist constraint, which was a neurologist. It's going to look at the location constraint, which is that location SEO I was talking about, Sandton. And then I've given it a trust qualifier. So I've asked for the best. I may have given it trust qualifiers such as the cheapest or the closest. Whatever that qualifier was, it then takes that into account, and it actually then makes a recommendation and doesn't just give you a list for you to choose from. The difference now being between search engines as they were in the past and AI agents and the recommendations that they make is that in the past, you would get a list with blue links and a link to the website. And they were ranked with a couple of keywords. The marketing agencies in the past, not that we still do this, we still include keywords and meta tags on the back end so that the search engines can identify your website. But in the past, that's all we had to do. We had to be very clever about the keywords that we would include, and Google would include them on search results on the first page. And also, you would get those sponsored ads at the top of the search results. So if you weren't paying for sponsored ads on Google, you weren't appearing and you weren't benefiting from that. Now, however, the GEO, the AI agents are looking at it differently, and they're actually trying to make qualified recommendations based on who they believe is the right person to recommend. So they're looking at what that intent is. Is it a specialist? What is the location? They're looking for entities that qualify for that. And then they're weighing up those signals those qualifiers that we gave them. And what is the trust that is based in that brand? So it will go onto the website. It'll look for the qualifiers that you provide those services, that you've explicitly listed those services. Over and above that, it's going to look at a whole host of other platforms. So it's not just limiting it to your website, which is what the search engines used to do. Now it looks at your social media. Have you published articles? What does it say on your social media? Are there complaints? So it's then going to look at your Google reviews and the social proof that you have. What kind of reviews are being left? Are there negative reviews? What do they actually say? Are you responding to those reviews? It actually takes these things into account. How long does it take you to respond to those reviews? Do you even considers if you're using stock standard templates for your Google reviews? If you are, the algorithm is going to count that against you. So it doesn't allow either you or the marketing agencies to juke the system anymore and just where in the past we used to use what would be really simplified marketing techniques and tactics. It now it genuinely wants to recommend the right person for the right job. And that's now the difference where we're going to. So what signals does AI look for? The specialist identity. It looks for authoritative content. So is there educational material that you've published? Have you appeared in press releases? Recognized press releases, it'll even differentiate between whether you try to purchase a cover page or a press article, editorials, and those kind of things versus recognized publications. Is your digital presence consistent across the web? If it's not, it'll penalize you. It'll confirm your location certainty. Reputation signals, like I've mentioned, that social proof, and then structured information. So when we design a website, we have to include things in the back end, site maps and schema, so that it's easily indexable by the websites and by the search engines and the AI agents. If it's not, again, you get penalized. So where does all of this fall into the customer journey? Once the customer has actually typed in that search query, GP near me, they have intent when they type that into their search query. They've made the decision, they've gone past awareness, they've gone past consideration. They're now at the point where they actually want to pull the trigger, and they actually want to act on that decision. Of that, 76% will then visit your website or contact the practice to take the next step. And 28% of those, within 24 hours, will then make a booking. You can consider for yourself, of those 51 million people that are connected to the internet, what your opportunity cost is if you are a healthcare practice and you aren't leveraging that 76 and that 28% of people that are actually going onto the internet, going onto their mobile devices and looking for the GP, neurologist, physio nearby, and you don't have that digital presence. The minuscule cost of that marketing, and I know sometimes people are scared of justifying the cost of marketing, but you can surely justify the cost of a website or some of these other aspects on a monthly basis if you compare that to the cost of a consultation, to the opportunity cost of not having it when you're looking at some of these figures. So we've looked at how to get found. Now what about being trusted? We're talking about managing that reputation and building that social proof. When you consider that 75% of consumers, and I just need to qualify this stat is built on consumers, it is based on consumers, not healthcare consumers. Nevertheless, I think that it's still appropriate that 75% of consumers always or regularly read reviews, and 88% would use a business that replies to all reviews. So I'm sure that you can even relate to this, whether you are making a purchase on Takealot, Amazon, whether you are looking for a healthcare provider and you've looked at their Google reviews on Google Maps or their Google My Business listing. We are driven by reviews now. We base it on other people's experiences and other people's opinions. We don't base it on the marketing that we receive. And the marketing now needs to be aligned with what we're seeing on the reviews. If there's a discrepancy, we discount the brand equity, the reputation in that brand, and it can actually do damage to the brand, unless the brand is actively managing that reputation and responding to those reviews. No response equals me, and it means we don't care. I often get asked that question, should we respond to negative reviews? Yes, you should. You should absolutely, definitely respond to negative reviews, but no, you shouldn't engage in a public forum. So it's not the place to enter into a debate or enter into a public consultation, but it's certainly your patient's right to complain or to give a negative review. In fact, it's an opportunity for you to learn and improve on your services. There may be some reason for them offering you a negative review, and it's a learning opportunity. Sometimes very, very, admittedly, consumers in general, whether healthcare consumers or retail consumers, can be a little bit unfair, and you can query those. You can object to those queries. You can object to those Google reviews, and you can have them removed by Google if they were posted by a troll or a person with malintent. If they weren't and they were just negative reviews, go onto Google and respond to them. Just acknowledge their review, and invite them to come into a private forum where you can engage with them. So trust is built. It's not claimed. Claiming it on your marketing and claiming the superiority of a brand. I'm not talking about touting, but assuming that you're superior is not going to work anymore. People are more advanced and people are more informed. It's about building that trust on those platforms such as Google and Facebook, and engaging with your patients. It's about ensuring that there's consistency in all of your information. It's about ensuring that there's consistency in your brand. It's about having a social presence, and it's about ensuring that the time that you respond to those reviews, positive or negative, is as soon as possible. So the third question that we need to answer is how to get booked. Now your patients have found you. You have enough trust in you as a personal brand, or you have enough trust in your practice, your professional brand. Now, are you making that available? Are you making the mechanisms available to allow them to book you? And I think that this is where a lot of practices fall short. You build up these professional brands and these fantastic, admirable reputations as healthcare providers. You spend all of this time doing that, but when the patient wants to book with you, they can't get through on the telephone. The telephone is engaged. The telephones don't work. Your receptionist is overburdened and overwhelmed with admin functions, or booking your overseas trips. And they're not getting through to you on the telephone, or you don't have, and there's a redundancy. You don't have the functions for them to go onto a website and book with you on your website, or you're not offering them the facility to book with you after hours when they want to book with you. You need to offer all of these different facilities to them so that they can actually book with you. It doesn't help having marketing in place if you don't make it available to them to actually follow through on that and make their booking with you. So there's 4 pillars that we can look at, and we're going to have a look at that in a moment. I want to just emphasize this, that South African patients are booking online. There's a leading online booking facility that shows 250,000 patients are visiting that medical directory, which offers online booking functions per month. 100,000 of those are confirmed monthly bookings. That's a 40% conversion rate. Some of these medical directories charge you a fee to offer the online booking. We can integrate that with your website. But if you don't want to pay that and you want to just offer an online booking function, we can create an online booking function with your website that won't cost you any monthly fees. These are different options that you have. This is all MarTech. This is based on those the pyramids that I spoke about, essentials versus nice to haves. The reality, though, is that online booking is realistic in South Africa. The 4 pillars of getting booked, and this is what improves your patient experience and increases your bookings. Firstly, we talk about conversions. Secondly, we talk about automation. Third, we're talking about omnipresence, being present where across the web. Fourth, we're going to talk about omni-channel communications, being where your patients want you. So let's have a look at that in more detail. You want to be able to convert that visibility that you've generated through the get found element into availability. Every single page on your website is a booking page. You need to ensure that the functionality is available on your website to allow your patients to book. Not all patients are going to go through each and every web page. You need to ensure that there's a call to action button that allows them to make those bookings throughout your website, that the functionality exists on your website to be able to make those bookings. Not all practices prefer WhatsApp as a business function. Some have found that to be an added value as a business function. Add it to your website if it suits you. We can add it as a widget. There are other forms of communication, such as a chat widget, or you have that AI agent on your website as a form of communication. It doesn't always have to be in real time. People can leave messages, contact forms, etc. Also, as part of the automation function, you allow for after-hours capture. So this is where we start talking about reducing the load on human resources, reducing the load on your receptionist and your billing clerk. Your receptionist is fielding a lot of phone calls that could be dealt with by mentioning well, let me put it like this. Your people call into your receptionist asking frequently asked questions about your billing policy, about post-surgery procedures, the general stuff that if you had it listed on your website would ease that load on your receptionist, and would ease the load on your billing clerk if your billing policy was listed on your website. Your contact details, if they were listed properly on the web, your receptionist wouldn't have to field those calls, and your receptionist could actually pay attention to the people in front of her. If your patient registration form was listed on your website, she wouldn't have to hand out a pen and pencil and a piece of paper, and your patients could actually do it on the web, whether they're sitting in the reception area and they do it on their phone, or they do it prior to coming into the reception room. This is going to reduce the cost on storage fees. Whether you're storing those files in your practice, you can use those rooms for sessional rooms and other purposes. You can repurpose that area. You can reduce the cost of rentals. You can use that storage for so many other reasons. Whether you're storing off-site, you can reduce the paper cost. You shouldn't be running a paper-heavy practice nowadays anyway. You need to be going paperless. And we can incorporate those functions into your website. Also, it allows your patients to register after hours. So patients want to be able to interact with you when it suits them. Patients want to be able to make bookings after hours. So don't miss that availability by not having those functions built into your website or wherever else we might have it. I'm speaking about websites because that's the easiest point of reference, but there are multiple other avenues that we can speak about. Again, I've listed here the review requests. Include a QR code on or a button on your website. Include a QR code in your reception area that invites them to your Google reviews page where they can leave a Google review. The third pillar is omnipresence. So ensuring that your information is consistent everywhere. It does a lot of damage in terms of the algorithms and in terms of your patient experience and your perception of your brand if your information isn't consistent. And then in terms of brand consistency, please, it's a pet hate, and it's also tardy if your brand, if you've updated your logo or you've updated information and you haven't done that across all the platforms. Google your practice, ensure that everything is up to date because that's what your patients are experiencing. You should be Googling your practice and your personal name on a periodic basis, at least once a quarter, just to see what it looks like because Google is doing it frequently. So ensure that everything is up to date and it looks consistent everywhere. If your logo is missing somewhere, get it added. It's something that we have to do constantly. And then the fourth pillar, which is actually quite an important pillar, is omni-channel presence. So omni-channel communications is ensuring that you are appearing where your patients want you to. If you consider that Gen Z, if you've got children or grandchildren, you'll know that they don't want to speak over the phone. And that just means that you need to meet them where they are, where they want to be met. That means that if people want to send you an email to communicate with you by email, that's what you need to make available. It's not for you to prescribe to your patients how they're going to communicate with you. they prescribe, consumers prescribe to their providers how it's going to happen. And otherwise, it's going to be an opportunity cost to you if you're not making that happen. So, WhatsApp, widgets on your website, AI agents that answer those frequently asked questions, um, chatbots, we're kind of moving away from that though. Online booking, whatever it might be, there's so many different channels that we can make available. Obviously, voice is one of them. Ensure that you have covered all of your bases, because if your patients try and contact you somewhere and you aren't making it available and your competitor is, they're going to move across to your competitor. And the difference with healthcare consumers is that once they move across to your competitor, the lifetime value of that healthcare consumer is so significant, and that the brand loyalty is built into a healthcare consumer, that you're going to lose out on a significant amount of revenue built into that healthcare consumer. So ending off now, AI is not a two-letter, four-letter word. It's where we are, it's where we're going. Whether you like it or not, it's happening. It's already happened. They're talking about having robots in our shopping centers that will they will answer questions, just as the same as what our current security guards and our inquiries booths do. These things are in place. They may not be in South Africa yet, but they actually are in place. They are doing them. The AI agents, as a matter of fact, our new clients at myMed Marketing will know this. We have an onboarding agent that takes care of all of our onboarding, whereas we used to have a human a few months ago. We now have an onboarding agent called Ellie, and she walks our clients through that whole onboarding process, where the client registration form, the service agreement, ensuring that you've uploaded all your marketing assets. That is now handled by an AI agent that we've built, and it works perfectly. You can ask questions, she will answer you, and so the AI evolution is happening. It's important that you understand this, and it's important that you don't be scared of it. It's not something to be scared of. It can add a lot of value to your practice. It can reduce your human resource costs. Once it's built in, it can increase or improve the patient experience. Like I've said there, answer the FAQs 24/7, capture patient details while you're sleeping. And then it can route inquiries. If there are inquiries that it can't handle, it can route the inquiries to the right person, whether it's an account query or reception query, whatever it might be, it can route it to the correct person, digitizing those business processes. Obviously, I've added that stats on the right-hand side just so that people understand. We do still prefer human doctors to AI doctors. I don't know if you know this, but ChatGPT recently launched something called ChatGPT Health, and that fell flat on its face, and they've now removed it. And I don't think we're going to be seeing AI doctors anytime soon, which I'm quite happy about. I'm a qualified paramedic myself, so I do have a passion for clinicians and going to a real doctor, and not asking ChatGPT for healthcare advice. So thank you for attending this presentation. I'm now quite excited to share these two gifts with you. Please scan the QR code on the left, which will then take you to our diagnostic tool. It is a smart tool. You only have to enter a couple of details and some questions about your social media. It will then give you a score based on your current marketing, digital marketing, and it's going to compare it to your closest competitors in your area. Does all of this automatic. It's all free. And if you'd like to schedule a consultation, you can click on the buttons there. You can also have a look at our website. And on the right-hand side, I'd love to offer you 10% off. We also have an online stationery store where you can go onto our store. You can order design, so we can design your stationery for you if you'd like us to as a marketing agency. If not, you can just order the online stationery. You can upload your artwork, and it'll be delivered to your door throughout South Africa. and I'd love to offer you 10% off your first order. Use the coupon code Twilight. Please use uppercase Twilight, and you can access that by going onto our website. Thank you very much. I see that we do still have 15 minutes. So if you do have any questions, you're welcome to post them in the Q&A. I actually thought we were going to run out of time. But if you do have any questions, you're welcome to post them in the Q&A now. Tanya, if you're happy to field those questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Thanks, Ryan. Thank you so much for a very insightful presentation. I think this is an important topic that we often forget to speak about. And I think with ethics, healthcare ethics, we don't know what we can and can't do. So thank you so much also for that insight. Just a reminder for those who did not attend the first part of the session, you're more than welcome to go and post your Q&A question that you might have in the Q&A box at the bottom of this screen. We will direct it to Ryan directly. Now, the one question that I can see in the box is, apart from outside patients booking online, can the booking facility allow for in-facility professional settings, up meetings with me as the doctor? Please, Ryan, if you can attend for us on that one.
I'm not sure that I quite understand the question, Tanya. Can you repeat the question for me?
Yeah. So I'm going to repeat. Apart from outside patient bookings online, can the booking facility allow for in-facility professional setting up a meeting with myself as a professional?
In facility, I'm not sure that I understand the question.
Yeah, I think it's more maybe based, as I also understand the question, that out from an outside source platform, can an in-house platform also suffice for booking purpose?
So maybe I can just clarify on all of the ways that booking can be used. So we can integrate the booking with any booking platform that you're currently using. So if you are using a PMA, I'm not going to list them now, but if you are using any specific PMA software within your practice, we can integrate with those PMAs directly. So we can embed that into your website, which will allow the patients to see in real time what your calendar looks like, and they can book directly on there. If you don't have that in place, we can integrate, and you use one of the medical directories to allow online booking. We can integrate that with your website. And if you'd prefer not to pay for online booking and you just want to use a booking form on your website, we can set that up on your website as well. And they can get quite advanced. So it's not just a contact form. People can book specific services. So if you're an orthopedic surgeon, or you have a group practice and you have multiple services, you have multiple medical services and practitioners, people can choose the different services. They can be directed to different email addresses, so it can get quite intricate.
Thank you for that answer, Ryan. Then moving into our next question, does digital marketing still apply as much to smaller towns with more rural areas and low-income patients?
Very much so. So I think that you shouldn't underestimate how much the low LSM market is on their cell phones. They are one of the higher groups that are actually using their mobile phones to identify healthcare practitioners. And this is kind of where I come back to the fact that that old adage of, build it and they will come. I think if you're relying on that as a business strategy, you're looking for trouble. It's not a sound marketing strategy to have a door open and a sign on the outside of your medical practice and believe that that's going to achieve success. People are going to do their research on their medical condition, on their healthcare provider before they come. And if you want to achieve that, regardless of what LSM category they exist in, what income bracket they exist in, I think that building a sound marketing strategy and having a digital presence is responsible. It's reckless not to have that in place, because only catering to a marketing strategy down the line, your competitors are already going to have that in place. So it's robust and responsible to have that taken care of upfront.
Thanks, Ryan. Then another question that we just received, what about marketing to other doctors to refer to you?
So referral marketing, healthcare providers often have more than one target market or target audience, and there's tactical marketing that we can offer to those clients. It's often about having, well, the first thing that we do with our clients is sit with them and identify who their target markets are. A healthcare consumer is one target market, and a referring doctor is a different target market. And understanding where those different target markets are and how you engage with them is the key differentiator. A doctor is not going to go onto your website as much as a healthcare consumer is. So perhaps setting up events, creating unique engagement for platforms. So I don't want to go into the details now how we do this, but there are ways that you can engage and create communication channels with referring doctors that allow them to see what services you're offering. They are still going to look for your social proof, but building up those referral networks is firstly organic, because they're going to rely on your trust and your reputation and your credibility, but they're not going to go onto medical directories and the public search engines to go and look for you. So you need to get past the gatekeepers, and you need to build that trust firstly on a one-on-one basis, but there's also ways to do that by getting past that gatekeeper layer. And there's mechanisms that we can use, often digital mechanisms. People don't use flyers anymore. Those days are gone, although we do provide print marketing, and that can often back it up. But hosting events, building up that credibility. So it's a more tactical marketing that we use for referral marketing.
Thanks, Ryan. Then just a general question from the side of SAPA. What is the cost estimate around the implementation of these types of marketing platforms? I think from practice management, you want to keep the cost as low as possible. Is there a way in which you can implement phase by phase, or just give us an idea that if you want to allocate costs effectively but want to keep the cost low, is there certain phases in which you can implement then these platforms? Please guide us on that.
Absolutely. So I think it depends on where you're at with your practice. If you're a startup practice, the reality is that you have no brand equity built into that practice, and we're going to have to set up those foundations. So we're going to have to design your brand identity with the stationery and the logo, and we're going to have to set you up on Google and the social profiles. So the capital investment is going to be higher if you're a startup practice. If you're an existing practice, hopefully you have some of these marketing assets in place, and we can build on those foundations. Ideally, once we've got those foundations in place, we can often taper them off. It just depends on what your business objectives are. At myMed, we don't offer a standard rate for our services. We develop a bespoke package for our clients because it depends on all of these different factors. A website, for instance, depending on the number of pages and the complexity, like I showed you, the essentials versus the advantageous, with all of those different functions built in, can range from 495 Rand a month to 900 Rand a month. And that includes the design, development, the hosting, the security, the maintenance. It's all inclusive. And that, like I say, that just depends on what you need at your practice. We try and not provide our clients with just the basics anymore, because we've just found that it doesn't do them any good. We're not providing a true service to our clients if we're just giving them the basics. But there are certainly, if you really do believe that you can't afford the Rolls Royce, I'd rather have our clients just have something in place, we can certainly assist with that. You know, you need to have a digital presence. You need to have a proper logo. Please don't have a Gmail account. It doesn't do you any justice. Have a custom domain. You know, custom domain is 300 Rand a year. It's not expensive. Included in our website packages that includes your email hosting, unlimited email accounts for you and your receptionist and your booking and your accounts department. So, you know, for 695 Rand a month for your website, all of that is included. You can imagine the value that you're getting from that. So I've mentioned some prices now, but I really don't like to mention prices without having a consultation with my clients and understanding where they're at, what they need, and putting together a bespoke proposal. If they go and do that diagnostic scan that's on the screen right now, they'll understand why we do it like this. And then they can meet with us and we can do a proper proposal and a proper meeting with them to understand what needs to be done.
Thanks, Ryan. I think out of that answer, we can hear that you truly want to go and evaluate the practice as well to truly understand what is their need. And upon that, of course, implement. I can see Dr. Boyson, thank you so much. You are referring to the HPCSA guidelines that has been updated. That is correct, to reference booklet number 11. So for everyone that wants to go and review, you are more than welcome to go and review. Very important note there. Please also focus on touting and canvassing. If we advertise, of course, in the HPCSA ethical guidelines, that's very important. The next last question, with our time in mind, I see that we have a question. Are there not many no-shows with online bookings?
I think that that's going to happen in any case. I think that if you consider the point that patients don't want to waste their time, patients don't want to take advantage of the opportunities that are there. And if you look at that customer journey that I showed, the point that they make that online booking is already at the point that they've gone to research the doctor, they've considered the alternatives, they've gone onto your website, they've now clicked on an online booking, and so the chances of them missing that booking, there's absolutely a chance, but I don't believe that that chance is very much higher than them phoning in to make a consultation. I think that in all honesty, it is a slightly bit easier for them to miss their consultation because the guilt factor is a bit lower. But quite frankly, whether someone phones in and they make a booking and they miss the consultation, or they click on that online booking and they miss the consultation, I don't believe that the margins are very much higher. I do believe that there are ways to mitigate that by having mechanisms in place like a reminder SMS, or if you are experiencing that or you don't want to experience that, have your receptionist pick up the phone and remind them about that booking. You know, it's a 30-second call or a 30 cent or 50 cent SMS to remind them of their consultation.
Thanks, Ryan. Any last remarks before I'm going to close off tonight's session?
Don't be afraid of marketing. Marketing and advertising and promotion are different things. I know that I heard their comments about the HPCSA guidelines. We operate within the HPCSA guidelines. I don't believe that the HPCSA is there to hold you back from marketing your practice. We don't advocate canvassing or touting. A website is certainly neither of those things. It's about building the awareness of your brand. There are certain things that you have a right to do, and I don't think that you need to cross those margins. You can still remain ethical and professional in your marketing, and we certainly do that, and we certainly stay within with all due respect, we certainly stay within the respectful margins of the HPCSA. I'd invite you to contact us, and I'd also invite you to join the next webinars within the Docio Bovest Twilight series. I'd just like to thank Bovest Wealth Management and our other co-sponsors for sponsoring the series. I think it's a great opportunity for healthcare providers to be able to learn some additional business acumen to create a profitable, sustainable, and ultimately a saleable asset that a medical practice should be. Thank you very much for attending. You're welcome to send those questions through or contact me for a consultation.
Thanks so much, Ryan. With that being said, thank you to everyone who has attended tonight's session. Reminder, our next session is going to take place on the 29th of January. Go and register. We are leading up to the mid of March with every single week a session with very important topics relevant to business. So please go and register. All these sessions are CPD accredited. So not only can you get some insight of experts, you will also receive your CPD points. With that being said, thank you so much, Ryan. Thank you to your team as well. If you have any further inquiries or questions, you're more than welcome to direct them to the office of ASAPA, to my email, Tanya, Tanya, @asapa.co.za. We can't wait to see you in our next week's session. Ryan, thank you to you and the team. Have a wonderful evening. Goodbye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.